Hi, and welcome to our final yoga for supporting the immune system. I am Megan, and we're going to do a mixture of a flow and a yin class. So for the first half, we're going to move a little bit more, but for the second half of class, we're going to do some supported stretches with longer holds. You don't necessarily need any props tonight besides something to sit on, maybe a mat or a blanket. Other than that, if you like to use props, if you like to use blocks or straps or anything else, go ahead and grab those. But tonight, as always, you don't necessarily need anything. So for the last few weeks, we've been going over some of the ways that we can use yoga to help support our immune system. And one of the main themes that has kept coming up is decreasing our stress levels can boost and increase our immune system. So what we are going to do tonight is we're really going to do a nice, gentle, stress relieving flow followed by some long held poses. So that is my plan. So with that in mind, we're going to actually start seated tonight, which is different than what we normally do. Change it up. We're going to start seated. So I want you to start just by finding a comfortable seat. It could be crisscross. If you like hero's pose, you could also do that bending your knees, sitting on your feet like that too. Or if you have another comfortable seat, go for it. Do whatever feels good. And thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Find your tall seat. So sit up really super tall. See if you can relax your shoulders, relax your face. And if it feels good, close your eyes or soften your gaze just for a moment and begin to notice the rhythm of your breath. There's no need to change anything. We're not trying to get anywhere, just noticing. Notice the rhythm of your breath. And when you feel ready, we're going to slowly exhale all of the air out. And on your inhale, fill all the way up. So once you reach the top, hold it in just for a moment. Notice what it feels like to be completely full. And then open your mouth and big sigh out, let it go. Do that again. Inhale, fill all the way up. Hold it in for a moment. And then big sigh out, let it go. And one more time, inhale, fill all the way up. Hold it in. And then again, big sigh out, let it go. Return to your natural breath for 1 or 2 breaths. We're going to do one more breathing practice here before we start moving. And so again, when you feel ready, you're going to slowly exhale all of the air out. And this time we're going to inhale for a count of 4. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, hold it in. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause, hold it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and hold it in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return to your natural breath. Notice your inhale, notice your exhale. See if you can relax your shoulders down if they started to move up while you're breathing. And then slowly blink your eyes open. And from here, take your right hand down to your right side. Reach your left arm up and over, coming into a side stretch. Breathing here, rotate your heart up towards the sky. And then again, inhale, come all the way back up. Take your left hand down, right arm's gonna reach up and over, same, other side. Take a couple breaths here, rotate your heart up towards the sky. Just making some space in that side body. And again, inhaling, coming up. Let's move with the breath just a couple times. So exhale, coming down. Pause for the inhale. And exhale, switch. Pause on your inhale. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale and pause. Exhale and switch. Inhale, pause. Exhale, switch. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And this time on your exhale, come all the way up. And from here, walk your hands forward. Come into your forward fold over your legs. Going as low as what feels good for you. So you can come all the way down. You can come halfway down. It doesn't matter. You don't have to force it. But think about rooting back into your hips, lengthening your spine here. And then inhale, walk yourself back up. So switch your feet. If you're cross-legged, switch feet. So your opposite foot comes in front. Again, inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, walk your hands forward. Come into your forward fold. Couple of breaths here. Notice your breath. Notice how you're feeling. And then again, inhale, walk yourself all the way back up. And let's come on to hands and knees. So take your time. Again, for the first half of class, we're going to move a little bit. For the second half of class, we're going to do some long stretches. So on your inhale, arch your spine and look up. And as you exhale, round your back and drop your head. And then just keep going. Follow your breath. Inhaling, arching the spine and looking up. Exhale, round. Notice how it feels. Keep going. Notice as you inhale, see if you can really let go of the belly. And then as you exhale, hug the belly in towards the spine. And notice any areas in the spine that feel like they're easy to move, any areas that feel like they're maybe a little more sticky. Sometimes we tend to move a little bit more in the head and neck because it's a little easier to access. But see if you can undulate through the entire spine as you move here. No need to crank into the head because that doesn't feel good, right? Do one more. And then on your next exhale, take it all the way back into child's pose. Take your hips back towards your heels, drop your head. Give yourself a moment here. Our goal tonight is rest and relaxation. So you want this whole thing to feel pretty good. We're not trying to stress out the body in any way. We're trying to find a nice rest and digest setting in our nervous system. We really want to find some restful, easeful poses. So from here, you're going to come about halfway up. Walk your hands over to the right. And then you're going to kind of lay your upper body over your right leg, reaching your left arm a little bit further away and breathing here. And then on your inhale, same thing, other side. You're going to walk your hands up, spin around, over to the left. This time reaching that right arm a little bit further away and folding over that left leg, breathing here. And then inhaling, coming back to center, coming back into your regular child pose. And from here, I want you to make a choice. You can stay in your child's pose, or if it feels good to you to transition into your downward facing dog, go for it. But listen to your body. What feels best here? Couple of breaths, either in child's pose or down dog. If you're in your down dog, ground down through your hands and feet. If it feels good to really let your head go, let your head go. And in child's pose as well, if you feel the center point right in between your eyebrows, your third eye area there, if you just slightly press that into the floor, it's a nice pressure point. It's very good for grounding. So give yourself another breath or two wherever you're at. And then slowly from here, let's walk the feet all the way forward to meet the hands, coming into your forward fold at the top of your mat. And give yourself a moment here, just dangle if that feels good. If you want to grab opposite elbows or do something else with your hands, you can. But again, if it feels okay, really let go of your head. You can bend your knees a little or a lot here if that feels good. You can sigh out your mouth if you need to or want to. And then slowly release your hands. If you've got anything going on with it, put a little bend in your knees. On your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly roll yourself all the way up to stand, stacking your spine as you go. So bring your awareness to the back of the body and slowly stack your spine as you come all the way up to stand. So grounding down through your feet, reaching up through the crown of your head. As you inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, hug your hands in toward your chest. So pause here, take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Really slow, just follow the breath. Exhale, ride out the breath as you dive forward, come into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine, flat back. Exhale, fold. Let's plant the hands and step the left foot back, coming back into a lunge, and then bring your back knee down to the floor. Okay, so once you're here, I want you to choose. You can keep your hands low. You can bring your hands up onto your thighs, or you can reach them all the way up if that feels good. Give yourself a breath here. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring both hands down to the floor. Straighten that front leg. Stack your left hip on top of your left knee. Just take just a couple breaths here. We're not going to hold this one too long. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And your inhale, bend your front knee. You're going to plant the hands, but step it back into a plank or a kneeling plank. Shoulders on top of wrists. So knees can be down or up. It's completely up to you. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, press it right back. Go back into your down dog or your child's pose. Pause here just for a couple breaths. And then on your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly step your left foot forward between your hands. If it gets stuck, just help it along the way. Deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Come back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press into your feet. Come all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, bring your hands into your heart. Sealing it in. Again, we're going for rest. We're going for calm. So if at any point, if anything stresses you out or if your body's telling you no, just back off tonight. Give yourself permission. Inhale, arms reach up, open up. Exhale, dive forward, fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back. Bring that right knee to the floor. Again, choose. Hands can stay low. And come up on your thigh, or if you want to reach all the way up for a deep breath, take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. One more big inhale. And as you exhale, hands come down to the floor, and we're going to straighten your right leg. Your left leg. Front leg is going to straighten. Right hip stacks on top of your right knee. Take a deep inhale. And a deep exhale. Maybe one more deep inhale. Deep exhale. On your next inhale, bend your front knee. You're going to plant your hands. Again, we're going to step that left foot back. Coming back into a plank or a kneeling plank. Pause. And then exhale, press it back either hips to heels for child's pose or back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath. Notice if you're in your downward facing dog, see if you can lengthen your heels back away from your toes and press all 10 fingers down into the floor, spreading your fingers out wide. And then on your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly step your right foot forward between your hands. Remember, if it gets stuck, you can just help it along the way. As you inhale here, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, step your left foot forward to meet your right. Come back into your fold. Inhale, elongate the spine. Come about halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet. Come all the way up. Reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come into your heart. Pause here. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. All right. Inhale, arms reach up. We're going to add on just a little bit, but again, don't stress out about it. Exhale, dive forward, forward fold. You want this to feel good. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Step your left foot back. Bring your back knee to the floor. Again, just for one breath, maybe keep your hands lower. Bring your arms up. And then exhaling, hands come down to the floor. Straighten that front leg. Take a breath here. Lengthen your spine. Relax your shoulders. And then on your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly bend that front knee. We're going to come back up into the low lunge. So just as you need to, find your balance and bring your hands to your heart. From here, we're going to twist to the right. So left elbow either to the inside or all the way to the outside of that right thumb. I'm going to turn towards you a little bit so you can see. Breathe here. If you're someone who likes to tuck your back toes under and lift that back knee up, if that helps your pose, if that feels better in your pose, you can do that. But if it feels good just to stay grounded tonight, keep that back knee down. And then on your next exhale, slowly release both hands down to the floor. You're going to step that right foot back. Come back into your plank or your kneeling plank. Exhale, press it back, down dog or child's pose. We're going to flow through that a couple times. So on your inhale, we're going to slide forward into a plank or a kneeling plank. And then exhale back into down dog or child's pose. So from child's pose, you just rock it forward into your kneeling plank. And then back. And from down dog, we inhale forward the plank and exhale right back. Let's do one more. Just follow your breath. And then on your next inhale, take your time, slowly step your left foot forward between your hands. Again, inhale, elongate the spine, look forward. And exhale, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Come back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come about halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet, come all the way up. Your arms reach up overhead. And on your exhale, bring your hands into your heart. One more time, side two. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge forward, come into your fold. Just ride out the breath. Inhale and come about halfway up. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step your right foot back. Bring your right knee down to the floor. On your inhale, just for one breath, arms reach up, open up. And on your exhale, hands come down to the floor, straighten your front leg and fold, holding just for a couple breaths. Breathing on your own, shoulders away from your ears. And then on your next inhale, you're going to slowly bend your front knee, come all the way back up, low lunge, and bring your hands to your heart. From here, we're going to twist to the right, to the left. Right elbow to the inside of that left thigh, or all the way to the outside of the right thigh. Balance is different every day, so just be nice to yourself and breathe. Remember, if you want to tuck your back toes under and lift your back knee up off the floor, go for it. If it feels better today to stay grounded, do that. Long, deep breath. Notice your breath. Notice how your body responds to this shape. And then as you exhale slowly, bring both hands down to the floor and step it back into your plank, again, or your kneeling plank. And as you exhale, go back into your down dog or your child's pose. So 3 more times, we're going to rock through that plank to down dog or kneeling plank to child's pose. So on your inhale, you're going to slide it forward, coming into your plank or your kneeling plank. And as you exhale back, down dog or child's pose. 2 more times, inhaling. And exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. And on your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly step your right foot forward between your hands. On your inhale, lengthen and look forward. And as you exhale, step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Come back into your fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into your feet. Come all the way up. And exhale, hands come to heart. Sealing it in. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale. On your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and then side bend over to the left. Rooting down into that right foot, making some space here. Inhale, come back to center. Switch your hands and then go the other way. Root down into that left foot. Lengthen the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release your hands and fold forward. On your inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. We're going to step back. Going right back into our plank or kneeling plank. And then exhale, everybody put your knees down on the floor. We're going to come more into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. And then from here, you're going to keep your hips stacked on top of your knees, right? And then start to walk your hands forward, allowing your heart to melt down towards the floor. Breathing here. It's more like a puppy dog pose. So breathing here, tuck your tailbone just slightly. Feel your low belly lift. So you feel some nice space in the low back. We don't want to get crunchy in the low back. And only if it feels okay, you're going to keep your elbows in line with your shoulders. Make sure your elbows are in line with your shoulders. You bring your palms of your hands together like a prayer position. And then maybe bend the elbows. Bring the palms of the hands towards the back of the head. If that doesn't make any sense, you can look at me. But palms of the hands, bend the elbows. Palms of the hands come back towards the back of the head. And that's only if you don't have anything going on in the shoulders or the neck or the upper back. That if this doesn't feel good, don't do it. Breathe. As always, remember to take care of yourself. Listen to your body. It only goes so far that it feels good in your body. Give yourself another breath or two. And then allowing the hands to come down if they came up. We're going to slowly, take your time, we're going to slowly slide all the way forward onto the belly, coming into Sphinx pose. Just naturally unwinding your spine. So elbows underneath the shoulders, hands in line with your elbows. Reach your heart forward. And while this pose is lovely, I love this pose, you're still a little bit active in the legs, so you're pressing the tops of the feet down. You feel your legs engage a little bit, and then feel the low belly lift just a little bit so you have that support. So we're not taking this into the lower back. You really want to think up or back as you breathe here. And if it feels okay to you, if you want to press into your hands and lift your elbows up off the floor, you can. But again, only if it feels good in your back. Listen to your body. Give yourself another breath. And then on your exhale, slowly release and lower all the way down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders back by your rib cage a little bit. And then inhale, just one cobra today. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Open up your heart. Press up into any size cobra you want to be. And then exhale, press back. Again, downward facing dog or child's pose. I'm going to let you choose. We've got time for it. So from here, we're just going to do one more standing pose. So on your next inhale, slowly step your right foot forward between your hands. We're going to do two standing poses. Anchor down your back heel and come all the way up. We're going to come into Warrior 2. We're just passing through Warrior 2 though. Passing through Warrior 2. Feel your feet grounding down. Bring your right elbow down to your right thigh. Reach your left arm up and over your ear. Side angle pose. This is where we want to be. You can stay here if it feels good to you to slide your right hand all the way down to the floor, go for it. If it feels better to stay up, stay up. Breathe. And just like in those side bends at the beginning of class, think about rotating your heart up towards the sky and feel that long line from the back, your left back heel, your left heel, all the way out through your left fingertips. Inhale, come all the way back up. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet. And from here, you can interlace your fingers behind your back if that feels good, or if it feels good, you can bring your hands to your hips. Choose one of those. Inhale, heart opens up towards the sky, and then exhale, hinge forward, come into your fold. So if your hands are interlaced, they can come up and over. If your hands are on your hips, you can choose to leave them there. If it feels better to bring them down, you can do that too. But breathe. Choose the variation of the pose that feels best to you. Think about reaching your sit bones up towards the sky, grounding down through your heels. Take another breath or two. And then inhale, come about halfway up. Walk your hands around towards your right foot. So towards the front of the mat, we're going to pivot onto the ball of the left foot. So you're in your lunge. And then step yourself back. Coming back into your plank or your kneeling plank. And then exhale, press it back, down dog or child's pose. And let's roll through that just a couple times, just like we did before. So inhaling, rolling forward into your plank or your kneeling plank. Exhale, rolling back, down dog or child's pose. And one more time, inhaling, rolling forward. And exhale, rolling back. Good, so side two. On your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly step your left foot forward between your hands. Anchor down your back heel and come all the way up. Warrior two. Again, I switch sides, but you don't have to. I'm just doing that so you can see. So take a breath, root down through your feet, reach up to the crown of your head. And then on your next inhale, we're going to transition into side angle pose. So left elbow down to your left thigh, right arm, sweep up and over your ear. If it feels better to take it up towards the ceiling, I should have said this on the first side, you can always do that too. Use the variation that feels best for you. But we're just going for some space. Going for space tonight. So if it creates more space for you, and if it feels better, you can bring your left fingertips all the way down to the floor. If that doesn't feel good, just come all the way back up. Breathe. Good. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet. And again, one more time, if you interlaced your fingers last time, interlace, if it feels good to interlace again, interlace the funky finger on top. So whichever pinky was on top last time, just change it. And then if your hands are on your hips, your hands are on your hips. Inhale, heart opens up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Again, if your hands are on your hips, again, you can choose to leave them there, lifting your shoulders away from the floor and allowing the head to get heavy, but keep it in line with the spine. Or if it feels better to bring your hands down to the floor, to hook them onto the outside of your legs, or hook your big toes, you can do that too. If your hands are interlaced and you want to take them up and over, you can. Just choose the variation that feels best for you. Give yourself a couple of breaths. Feel the strength in your legs. Your legs are supporting you. But allow yourself, if you can, just soften here a little bit. And then on your inhale, come about halfway up. You're going to walk your hands around towards your left foot, towards the front of your mat again. Coming back into your lunge. And then step your left foot back. You're going to come back into plank or kneeling plank. And exhale, press it back, down dog or child's pose. And one more time, let's roll through that. So inhaling, roll forward. We're going to do this twice. Inhale, roll forward into your plank or your kneeling plank. Exhale, press it back. And one more. Inhale, roll forward, plank or kneeling plank. Exhale, press it back. And if you want the full vinyasa, if not, just stay. But if you want to move through a full vinyasa, inhale, we're going to roll forward into plank or kneeling plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. And just one time, inhaling into your cobra. Any size you want to be. And then exhale, press it back. Downward facing dog or child's pose. Choose. And then on your inhale, take your time. If you're in your down dog, lower down onto your knees. If you're in your child pose, just come all the way up. Everybody come to seated. So we're going to move through some yin-inspired stretches. And as we move through these, I want you to, just the same as when we're in our flow, I want you to listen to your body, modify as you need to. Just because I say something doesn't mean it's gospel. So, listen to your body. Your body's much smarter than I am. So do what you need to do so that way it feels good for you. But we're going to start with a yin-inspired Paschimottanasana. So a yin-inspired forward fold. So you're going to take your feet out in front of you. And in yin, normally we keep this very structured. We flex the feet. We really lengthen up. But in yin, we back off a little bit. We can let the feet be kind of floppy. You can even let them flop out to the side. And from here, what we do is you just kind of walk yourself forward, coming into a fold. It's not going to be the biggest fold of your life because we don't have that support with the muscles. So you're just allowing yourself to soften here. We're not even going for the feet. I mean, if you have an attachment to your feet and you really want to grab them, you can, but you don't have to. The goal here is to soften. So allow the head to get heavy. Allow your face to soften. If you have anything going on in your upper back, or if you're, where you can't round the upper back, or if you have any pain, I want you to go onto your back and take your feet straight up, or even hug the knees in towards the chest. Okay, same, but no injury in the upper back. So one of those options, if rounding in the upper back is bad for your spine today. Okay, breathe. And every day is different. So even if some days you're like, yeah, this feels good, some days it might not feel good, go right back onto your back and give yourself that support. But wherever you are, allow yourself to soften here. The point of yin isn't to get your head to the floor or grab your feet with your hands or anything like that. The point is to really get out of your own way and allow gravity to do the work. We're not forcing, we're not straining, just allowing everything to start to slow down. And as you pause here, you may start to notice any areas of your body that still feel tense or tight. Maybe it's your jaw or your shoulders. See if, as you breathe here, as you exhale, if you can allow those areas to relax and to soften just a little bit more. Remembering that, stress is a part of life. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what kind of life you live. You always have stress. There's always some sort of stress. And so our goal isn't to get rid of all of it. Obviously, we can get rid of unnecessary stress, but our goal isn't to get rid of all of it. Our goal is to find ways in which to cope, find ways in which to find our own equilibrium so our body can recharge, our mind can recharge. And this can have great effects on our immune system, because when we're in periods of stress, our immune system becomes secondary. We're mostly just trying to, biologically, we're just trying to run away from the lion or whatever else is in front of us. So we're just trying to get through whatever is in front of us at the time. So when we enter into periods of rest, of relaxation, those other systems of our body can switch on. Not that they're ever switch off, but they can come back into the forefront and do what they need to do to help to heal. Heal what needs to be healed, fix what needs to be fixed. So giving your body and your mind just another couple of moments here to rest. Noticing your breath, If you feel like you can't breathe here, think about breathing into the back of the body, into the back of the lungs. Just a few more breaths here. We're not going to be here for the rest of class. Just a few more breaths. There's a really thick band of tissues that run down your back. And when we're doing a forward fold in this manner, it really gets into the back. So if you're starting to feel any stretching in the back, nothing bad. Sensation, not pain. But if you're feeling sensation, muscular sensation in the back, it's starting to release. If you're feeling it in the backs of the legs, that is a-okay as well, wherever you feel it. As long as it's not pain, sensation is good, pain bad. Breathe here. And then on your next inhale, take your time here. We're going to slowly roll all the way back up. And then from here, we're going to bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, and you're going to come down onto your forearms. So forearms come down behind you, and then this is called hammock pose. So what you're going to do, instead of holding yourself up here, you're going to kind of drop into it. So shoulders actually come up towards your ears. That's okay. And you allow yourself to soften here. It's a nice release for the spine after all of that. So give yourself a couple of moments here, just breathing. You can imagine you're on a beach or something, someplace warm. Maybe you are on a beach, but breathe. Long, deep breaths. Feeling the hammock of your spine dropping down towards the floor. Feel yourself supported here. Again, no pain. If at any point this causes you pain, abort. Get out of it. Do what you need to do to make it feel okay. And then from here, let's roll right over onto the right side. So you're going to roll right over, any way you want to get there. You're going to roll right over onto the right side, bringing the right elbow either underneath or a little bit out away from your right shoulder, or if it feels better to you, you can prop that right hand up, again, at a diagonal away from the right shoulder. Let me get a little bit into the side body here. I think we've done this one in at least one class before. So allow the rib cage here to start to drop down towards the earth. So now we're getting into that side body. Breathing here. I like this pose. Breathe. Long, deep breaths. Relaxing the shoulders as much as you can away from the ears. Softening through the legs. So your legs don't have to be totally straight. You can bend the knees a little bit here, because really the goal is to get into the side body. We're not trying to force anything else. Noticing how you feel. Some of these poses, and it depends on the day and it depends on how your body feels, but some of these poses, we feel sensation right away and we know, we're like, ooh, I can feel that. And other times it takes a little while to get the sensation, or sometimes you don't feel a lot until you come out of it. But just know that no matter what you're feeling, it's the pose is already working for you. We don't have to feel a whole lot of sensation right away in order to get the benefits of the pose. And sometimes easing into it is more beneficial because if we go right in, the body has a tendency to clamp up a little bit and try and protect itself from what's happening. So if we ease into it gently and if we approach it with compassion and we approach our body with compassion, we actually have more possibility for healing and opening. Give yourself another couple breaths here. Notice your jaw. And if at any point, because I know this is a lot on the arm, if at any point it doesn't feel good on your arm, you can just always come down onto the forearm as well. It's the same thing. You just allow the rib cage to start to melt down. Give yourself maybe 3 more long, deep breaths. And then when you feel ready, take your time. We're going to slowly come all the way down. You can take that arm out long. You can make a little pillow for yourself with your arm, whatever you want to do with it. Do that. And then from here, take your left arm up towards the sky and maybe drape that arm up and over your head. Or reach it towards your right hand. Just getting a little more space. Or just thinking about space. Take a breath. And then slowly take your time. You can use your hand if you want to. Roll yourself all the way back onto your back. Take your feet mat width apart. We're going to do the other side, I promise. Take your feet mat width apart. Bend your knees. Bring your feet to the floor. And just windshield wiper your knees side to side. Releasing the low back a little bit more before we go into side 2. And noticing the effects on that right side. Notice if you can feel anything. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Just notice. And then when you feel ready, coming back to center. So you have options here. You can roll right over onto your left side, or you can come up to seated and set up for side 2. I'm going to come up so that way I can continue to face you. But if you just want to roll right over onto the left side, you can do that. So again, either left elbow underneath the left shoulder, allowing the rib cage to fall down towards the ground. Or if it feels okay to you, left hand's going to come out kind of at an angle away from that shoulder, so you're not propped right up on the arm. You're at an angle here, and then allow your rib cage to start to melt down towards the floor. Breathe here. Long, deep breaths. Noticing the flow of your breath, noticing how it feels. Now it's like you're a mermaid at the beach. if you like visualizations. Long, deep breaths. Again, if you notice any tension in the body while you're here, or if you notice that you're holding yourself up, see if you can let it go just a little bit as you exhale. So allow yourself to soften as you exhale. Remember, we're not trying to dive as deep as we can into every pose right away. Trying to approach it with compassion and allow the body to soften into it as we breathe here. And then adjusting, modifying, doing whatever it is you need to do on this side. Remembering that one side is probably going to feel different than the other. It's normal. So if you need to modify, if you need to come out of it, listen to your body. It's very smart. Notice the flow of your breath. Notice your jaw. Notice your eyes. And remember, if you need to come down onto that forearm at any point, go for it. We're not trying to stress out the body, stress out the mind. So adjusting, modify as you need to. So we can get into a space where, yes, we can feel it, but you also want to be able to soften into it. Give yourself 3 more really slow breaths here. And then when you're done with your 3rd breath, no rush, you're going to slowly slide your left arm all the way out, coming all the way down onto your side. Taking that right arm, you can either drape it up and over your head. That might feel great. Or if you want to reach it up towards your left hand, you can do that too. Just doing whatever feels best here for you, just for a couple breaths. We're just going for some space. Breathing here, making some space. And then take your time. You can use your hand here and roll all the way back onto your back. Again, take your feet mat width apart, bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor, and again, side to side, windshield wiper your knees. Just releasing the lower back. Anything you want to do with your hands here is fair game. And then slowly bring your knees back to center. Bring your feet back so they're just about hip width apart. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So right ankle is going to cross over the left thigh. Pause here just for a moment. Bring your hands onto your rib cage, onto the lower half of your rib cage, so lower ribs. And take a moment here without needing to go anywhere, without needing to do anything. Just be present with the rise and fall of your breath. Feel the flow of your breath. And then from here, we're going to move into a twist. So keeping that right ankle on top of the left knee. Remember, modify as you need to here. Be nice to your knees. You start to drop your left knee over to the left. Right foot's going to come with it. And right foot comes to or towards the floor here. So once you get there, it may feel great to stay exactly where you are. But if it feels okay to you to start to move that right knee up towards the ceiling and let your right hip get really, really heavy, you're going to start to feel maybe some sensation in the outer right hip. And then again, anything you want to do with your arms, go for it. And breathe here. And again, the goal here is mostly just to get out of the way. So the more you try to force or strain in this pose, the more your hip is going to tighten up. So what you really want to do is attempt to soften here. And that will allow that hip to get heavy, and that will give you the benefits of the pose. But if at any point, again, if it feels like, pain, or if you've got something going on in your hip or your low back and you need to come out of it, please do. Listen to your body. And give yourself some space just to be here for a few breaths. Allowing the body just to become heavy. Feeling supported by the earth underneath you. Feeling yourself letting go just a little bit with each exhale. And then taking your time, no rush here. I'm going to slowly start to bring this figure four shape all the way back up the center. Unwind that right leg. And just for a moment here, take your feet, so they're just about hip width apart. Bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor. You're going to inhale, pick up your hips just like you're moving into a bridge, but you don't have to be very high. This doesn't have to be the biggest bridge of your life. And then you're just going to slowly sway the hips side to side, just releasing through the lower back. So this, again, it doesn't have to be really structured. You can think of your spine kind of like a snake, slithering side to side. It usually works for me, that visualization, but just see what works for you here. But you're just kind of going side to side, releasing and relaxing through the low back. And then slowly, as you move side to side, allow the hips to slowly settle back down onto the floor. And then same side two. So you're going to start by taking the left ankle over the right thigh, flexing the left foot here so you protect the knee, and then pause here for a moment. Again, bring your hands to your low ribs and give yourself a moment to be in this shape and be with your breath. Nowhere to go, nothing to change in this moment. Just be with your breath. And then taking your time, slowly, if it feels okay, you're going to start to allow that right knee to start to release over to the right. Left foot comes to or towards the floor. And again, once you get there, adjust, modify as you need to. Notice if you got anything going on with your hip or your knee and you need to get out, do what you need to do. But if it feels okay, sometimes in these shapes we like to allow that knee to drop in, which is not wrong. If that feels good for you, you can do it. But if it feels okay, you start to take that left knee up towards the ceiling and allow your left hip to get really heavy. So again, you're not forcing, you're not straining, you're not pushing that hip down, because that will cause the muscles around that hip to really tense up. You're just allowing the hip to get heavy and allowing those muscles around the hip to soften. And then breathe here. Anything you want to do with your hands. Give yourself a couple breaths. And we're just trying to get out of the way and allow gravity to do the work here. Feeling the flow of your breath. And I know normally in this class we move quite a bit, and the movement is good, but the point of the movement is mostly to get us to the point where we can be still. So taking these last few minutes of class just to be still and to notice what comes up for you. Notice how it feels to slow down. No right answer, there's no wrong answer. We're not asking so you can judge yourself. We're asking so you can notice. Notice what happens. And if the mind starts to wander, or if you start to feel restless, just keep coming back to the breath. And see if you can start to elongate the exhale, making your exhale a little bit longer each time. And then slowly on your next inhale, take your time. You're going to slowly bring your figure four shape back to center. Unwind your legs. And one more time, we're going to do that funky bridge pose. So you're going to press into your feet. Lift your hips just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a huge bridge. If your body is craving a big bridge right now, you can bridge as high as you want. But When we come about halfway up, we can really allow like the glutes and the backs of the legs to soften, and then you can allow that side-to-side motion of the hips and the movement of the spine. So we're just going for some side-to-side movement in the hips and the spine, if that feels good. If it feels better to you to move up into a bigger bridge, go for it. Listen to your body. What feels good in my body today may feel different in your body. So listen to your body. And then if we're doing the side-to-side motion, you're going to slowly start to move that side-to-side motion all the way down to the floor, allowing the hips to feel heavy. And then take a moment here. Notice what you need. Do you need a happy baby, bending your knees and catching your feet? Maybe that feels nice. Do you need another twist? You can always take another twist. But give yourself about a minute to do whatever feels best. I'm going to stick with happy baby because that feels good to me today. But whatever feels good to you, if you need something else, if you need a sweatshirt, you can do that. You can go get your sweatshirt or a blanket or pillows or a heated blanket. Sounds nice. But whatever feels good to you. Give yourself another moment. And then from here, take your time. We're going to slowly make our way into our Shavasana, into our final relaxation. So allowing the legs to elongate, allowing the arms to get long. Anything you want to do here so you can get really, really comfortable. I'm going to sit up, but I want you to get really comfortable. And for these last few minutes of class, I've done a lot of talking today. So for these last few minutes, I'm gonna be quiet and allow you to soak in like 3 minutes of silence. When was the last time you had 3 minutes of silence? So giving yourself some time in the quiet. And if you have time to stay in a nice, long, luxurious Shavasana tonight, please stay and just give yourself some time just to be. But if you have the 1 hour time limit, we are right there. So start by bringing awareness back to hands and feet, head and face, wiggling your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, rolling all the way over onto your right or left side, using your hands, pressing yourself all the way up to a seated position. And then taking your time, no rush here, taking your time, bring your hands into your heart ceiling in your practice, knowing that you always have this place to come back to, this place of peace, this place of restfulness, rejuvenation, recharging, and it's always there inside of you. So thanking yourself for taking the time to recharge tonight, to de-stress, and just to find some quiet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and for joining me these past few weeks. I appreciate it so much. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Thank you.